Hey, welcome back to another Mind the Mic podcast. I'm your host, Shubs, here with another special guest in the building. We got the sis Jessie Maguren. She beat this disease. I don't even know what it's called, so I'm not even going to try to say the name, but she beat some kind of bone disease. She'll tell us about that along the journey, but like she's like pretty much got told by a specialist the other day, like you're done, you're cured, whatever. So yeah, she'll tell us what the actual thing is called. But yeah, shout out to you, sis. What's goody?
Good, thank you, brother. How are you?
Okay, boy, can't complain. Just another day, another podcast day, another bit more value to add to the world, hopefully. Or some laughs, even that's value. For anybody that doesn't know who you are or where you come from, which wouldn't be many because you're the most famous guest we've had on here. No, where you come from, and give us some background story on Jessie Maguren.
So I'm Jessie Maguren. I'm half Maori and half Irish. I'm originally from Porirua, but I currently reside here in Perth. And I'm a phlebotomist full-time. So in other words, I collect blood for the doctors.
Oh, phlebotomist. You're the phlebotomist. Fucking hell, we're learning all these words out here. Phlebotomist. How long have you been a phlebotomist for?
2 years, but
yeah.
And so I had back surgery a couple of years ago. I used to be a full-time carer for a lady with MS because I really like being in that industry. And because of my bone disease, I wanted to be in an environment where I understood and I could give back. Because in the health industry, it's like a lot of the time you don't understand. You don't know what it's like to be in my situation. And I was like, very quickly, I could have been paralyzed. So I wanted to be one of those people who understood exactly what it was like. And I could relate to them on that kind of level. Yeah. And so I'd had, through something else, I'd ended up having a slip disc that had progressed over time and had pretty much started compressing all the nerves on my left side of my body. So they had to remove a part of my spine, which meant I couldn't do the support work anymore. But I still needed to be in the health system because I was like, I'm not an office girl. I'm full on. I like to be hands on. And then I came across phlebotomy, which meant I didn't have to do any heavy lifting. And because my infusion, I was having cannulas every 6 weeks and blood tests. I was like, I want to be able to give back.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I got into phlebotomy. But I guess the cool thing for me is I actually do domiciliary, which is mobile collector. So I work in this.
You got all the R's going on. Holy
what? Domiciliary.
So phlebotomy, domiciliary, and the bone disease. We'll get into that soon. What did you say? Okay. So domiciliary is?
Yes, that's mobile collection. So I don't work in a collection center. I work mainly with palliative care, our elderly, dementia patients. So I'm based in nursing homes and patient homes.
Okay.
And
when you collect, what do you mean? You stick it in, get the blood out of them.
Yeah.
So you're like a nurse or something.
Yeah, it's like an add-on job to the nurse. So pretty much all I do is just take bloods all day.
But you can do take bloods all day. Ooh.
Yeah. And in this job, you're supposed to have 4 years experience.
Okay. So how did you crack it?
Word of mouth.
That's it. Not what you know. That's who you can say. That's the way.
Yeah. They gave me an opportunity and I said, I don't have any experience. I just have half a certificate. And my boss had said to me, I can teach anyone to bleed, but I can't teach personality. And that shit just hit me. And I'm like, oh my God, I can bring light into such traumatic and dark spaces. And that's my favorite part of the job. The bleeding is actually really boring once you know how to do it. But it's I go in and I've got to, a dementia patient, for example, they may give me their arm, but by the time I put the needle in, they've forgotten what I'm even doing. So I've got to deal with traumatic situations like that. I deal with people in group homes, so paralyzed people, paraplegics, and a lot of the time they're just abused in the industry. So I've come in to be able to, I guess, flip the script on that because I understand what it's like. I don't want to conflict that kind of pain. And if anything, I like minimizing people's trauma that they've already got.
Oh, true. There you go. So phlebotomy and what's the other one again?
Domiciliary.
Cheddar domiciliary sounds like a freaking European man. I don't know. Shout out to the break. So anyway, take us back to Porirua. You said you're born and raised in Porirua?
Yeah, born and raised in Porirua.
What was life like in Porirua for you?
I was pretty lucky because my dad, our house was the second house built on the street. It was a freehold home. Like I had a mum and a dad. I was very, very lucky. But at the same time, Porirua is like my core, like the community, like everything about Porirua is a huge part of who I am. But the reality was like there's tall poppy syndrome is huge in Porirua. And, you know, we all just keep going around in circles. And me and my darling got a chance to leave. And so I used to be like, I'm raised in Porirua, I'm going to die in Porirua. And then I got an opportunity to come to Perth 11 years ago, and I've never looked back since.
True. You and your darling came, or just yourself?
Yeah. Nah, both of us, we moved together.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about your darling there. What's your darling? Is it a lady or a man?
Man.
Man, yeah. Oh, you never know these days, sis. No judgment.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, yeah. Shout out to the bro. And so what, how long you fellas been together?
11 years.
Oh, true. Oh, what? You met? Oh, fuck, I got a ticket one way, come with. Just like that, eh?
Pretty much. But at the same time, we went to school together. So we were best mates beforehand. So, like, pretty much from
low-key wakiki snickies, yeah, low-key ones.
Yeah, and he was the popular boy and I was the chubby tomboy girl. So when we got together, it rocked the whole town.
Oh, yeah, let's go. I bet it did, eh? I bet she's rocked the town, eh?
No.
Nah, cool, man. Oh, there's blessings. So when you fellas, how did you end up actually linking up? Because you've known each other for ages. How did you go from being the tomboy girl to the popular fella? How does this end up happening together?
So I actually hooked him up with his first girlfriend when we were 15, I think. So we were already friends. And then as we got older, we started hanging out. And then I started there was just like this connection, but it's like we were such good friends that we didn't want to ruin it.
Mm-hmm.
And then before we knew it, we were just hanging out every day. But at the same time, I'd been in an abusive relationship for 8 years. And I was stuck in it, like completely stuck. And everyone was just telling me, you got to leave, like just leave. And every time someone said that, it would just push me further to it. He came into my life and said, hey, picture this. Can you imagine yourself in a lava standing in the kitchen with 5 children and your man's out with his boys and you're 30 years old? And I was just like, fuck. And for the first time, he was the only person that didn't actually tell me to leave, but got me to see my current situation further down the future. And I was just like, I can't do that. And then that's what allowed me to break free from my relationship. So when I was in that relationship, we were just bros and he just genuinely cared about me, but he was the only person that didn't push me to leave.
Oh, yeah. And then all of a sudden, he's pulling up the lava. Let's go,
as soon as I was single, bro, straight in there.
In there. Ah, that's cool. But at least you had that support, and that's a cool connection, man. I like that. That's dope. Well, shout out to the brother. Can we put his name out there or nah?
Yeah.
What's the brother's name?
Chris Church.
Share the brother Chris Church. Shout out to the brother Chris Church. Behind every good woman, there's a good man, and vice versa. Hopefully, too. Every good man, there's usually a good woman, or actually, it might be a good man and a good man and a good lady behind each other. But you know what it is, yeah. So were you always friends like in high school and that, or nah?
Yep.
Oh, even then.
Yep.
Oh, okay, solid.
Yeah.
No, that's me. Oh, shout out to the bro. Shout out to you. That's beautiful. If someone was to describe Porirua to you, if someone asked you to describe Porirua, there's never ever been a Porirua, what would you say? Just give us one word.
The hood.
Oh, that's 2, but okay, we'll take it. I
was trying to decipher one word in my head, and I still got it wrong.
Up the hood. Shout out to the hood. We had a few, as I spoke to you before on the phone. We had a few Porirua breathers on here lately. I think you're the first. You'd be the first lady from Porirua, but it's been quite a few. A lot of talents come out of Porirua. Hey, yourself and Chris Church included.
Yeah.
Let's go. So obviously Porirua, and what all the way to literally till you moved here. That's it. Porirua. So Perth. What are your thoughts on Perth? You love it here?
I love it. Especially coming from somewhere like Porirua, I like how chill it is. And I like you get the Australian lifestyle, but it's still really relaxed. And there's just beaches within 20 minutes. You don't have to drive real far and stuff. So for me, when I went to Brisbane and Sydney and stuff for a holiday, it's just too fast for me. Just not my cup of tea. But I come here and I still get the opportunities in the Australian lifestyle without the rat race.
Beautiful. That's what I'll put. And I think a lot of people say that about Perth is like it's so chill, it's so relaxed. Like, and if you come from home, I think like besides obviously a lot of the opportunities work wise, like it's not too dissimilar to home in a way of just the relaxedness of it. Even though you're in a big city, you don't really feel like it. Hey,
Nah.
yeah, like I don't feel like 2 million people live here.
No, not at all.
Nah, it's so spread out too, and so chill. But then there's obviously down some people are like, oh yeah, but the shops aren't open all the time, like they are in other places. But you got to take the good with the bad, I guess. Yeah,
Well,
I love
WA stands for wait a while.
Yeah, hard. Shout out to Wait a While. Oh, what is this bone thing you got going on anyway? Can you tell the people about their bone thing? What's it called and how does it work? Take us through that whole journey, how you found out about it, etc., etc. But of course, what it's called to start with.
Yeah. So Ankylosing Spondylitis, and it's like pretty much just abbreviated into AS. And
give me a turn again. What?
Ankylosing.
Ankylosing
Spondylitis.
Ankylosing spondylitis.
Yeah, that's
and that's what you got. All right. So it's AS. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a bone disease, but it's actually arthritis / autoimmune. So in other words, my immune system works 10 times faster than everybody else. And when I'm not sick, it doesn't shut off. So it's just always running. And then what was happening was I ended up having inflammation from head to toe. So at 23 years old, I was like a 60-year-old. Like I couldn't stand up straight. I was like bent over. I couldn't walk. I couldn't even walk.
Not in a good way either. Hey.
Nah, it was horrible.
Oh. No, I just meant the bent over part. I was bent over. I was like, not in a good way anyway. You carry on.
But yeah, and so pretty much what had happened was my dad had died suddenly, and 3 days later, I ended up with like massive back pains, like in severe pain. Went to the hospital, and then that pretty much started my journey where they did like a MRI, and I was inflamed from head to toe. And the disease itself is actually genetic. So you have to have a certain gene, which is the B27 gene, to be able to even have the disease. So being in New Zealand, it took nearly a year for them to be able to find out what was wrong with me. Like, because I'm a big girl, I was just always put in the fat category. Like, oh, your weight, your abdomen cannot support your bones. And so they just kept sort of pawning it off. And by the time I got to my MRI, they'd seen that I was completely inflamed from head to toe, and part of my pelvis had started crumbling away. And because of my age, they were like, the only way that your pelvis would crumble away is if you're a 40 plus or you had 4 or more children. And in my case, that wasn't it at all. So it was triggered by my dad's death, the trauma and the stress that pretty much kicked my immune system into overdrive. And then I started trialing different medications. So like I was having like an injection that I took at home every 2 weeks, but it did absolutely nothing. They put me on steroids, did absolutely nothing. And then pretty much the last resort was a 6-weekly infusion. And that infusion completely shut my immune system off.
Holy Rick.
And I've been having that every 6 weeks for 11 years. And I just had my last one 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Far out. How good?
Oh, it's amazing, because I was pretty much, they had said, like, you've got it now. This is going to be you forever. And it was really fucking hard for me to get over my head, like being 23 years old, and I have to go to the hospital like every 6 weeks. And even like trying to find work, I had to mention that every 6 weeks I was unavailable, and then they want to know why. And that would make me a liability, because I had to start to like explain, oh, well, I've actually got a bone disease and it's in my back. And so it was really hard for me to get a job as well. And then, but it was crazy how quickly I shifted from like, I don't want this, to like solely relying on it and really dependent, to a point where like I thought it was like this magical drug. And every 2 weeks I'd get excited because the next one was coming, because when I'd have it, I wouldn't have any pain.
God, for the whole 2 weeks, or
for about 4 to 5 weeks, I wouldn't have any pain. But around 2 to 1 week before it was due, that's when all my symptoms would start to kick back in.
Oh yeah. That's why they do every 6 weeks. Okay.
Yeah, to stay on top of it. And then, so that was me for like 11 years, and I'd just go, and I'd seen the same specialist and everything. But it was quite hard to move from New Zealand to here as well, because I started the treatment in New Zealand, and then when I moved here,
true.
yeah. And the treatment costs the Australian government $90,000 a year for just me to receive. So for me to be able to go in and say, I need this treatment, I needed like all the proof to be able to show the Australian government that they were worth me paying for. Then I finally got in, and I was still every 6 weeks just going in, and it was normal. And then I think within the last 2 months, I started realizing that like the shit that I normally do, which was like hot showers, like boiling hot showers first thing in the morning, my tramadol, all my routine around managing my disease just wasn't there anymore. And then it's quite weird how it worked out too, because I had my infusion, and then coming up to the next 6 weeks, I forgot it. Like I completely forgot that I had an infusion, and I was like, that's fucking weird. Like, why have I forgotten? Because I never forgot the whole entire time I've been on it. Like I knew when it was coming. I never missed it. And then this time on a Tuesday, I've got all these messages asking like from the hospital, where are you? And I'm like, oh, what the hell? Like I completely forgot. And then that's what started shifting my mindset. And that's when I was like, wait, hold on. And I started asking questions like, how did I just go 6 weeks? And I didn't know. Like I didn't realize that I needed it, because that just wasn't the case. And then I rang them back, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I forgot. And they're like, that's okay, we'll fit you in next week. So I was like, yes, sweet as. And then they ring me back, and they're like, actually, we're fully booked. We can't get you in for another 6 weeks. And fuck, did the fear come in. Like I was scared. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to end up back at square one and all the shit. But at the same time, it's like my higher self was like, hey, in 11 years, you've never been reassessed. You've just jumped on the 6 weeks. Like you don't even know where your current body's at. So I was like, this will be a really good assessment, not based off a medical profession, but myself, like me connecting with my physical body and actually going, do I need this amount? How much do I need? Like, do I even bloody need it? And then I guess the icing on the cake was I got to 12 weeks and I had not one flare up. 2 days before my infusion was due, I went to Albany and hiked. I hiked a summit, which I ended up above the clouds, and it's a hard hike. It's like difficulty 4 or something. It's like second down from the hardest one. I got all the way to the top, and I got all the way to the bottom, and the only thing that I had wrong was like my breathing, like my fitness. But I woke up the next day and I was like not in pain, and I'm like, it just doesn't make sense.
Did you not even train for this hike? Were you just like, I'm going up there?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, 100%.
Afterwards. Yeah, afterwards, my brother. That's it. Fucking oof. Afterwards, baby. Yeah.
And then I got up the top and I got down the bottom, and everything that was wrong with me was not my bone disease. And I was just like, realistically, based on my disease and based on the statistics, I should not have been able to fucking do that. Not even a week after my infusion. And then that's when I was like, I just need to talk to my specialist. And even then I was too scared. I was like, oh, I'll just ask if I can reduce it. Like I was so riddled in fear because I relied and depended on it that I just wanted to start playing around with it to see what I needed. And then when I went and seen him, it was literally just to ask that, how do I go for an MRI? How do I get reassessed? And can I start reducing my medication? I explained the hike story and he just cut me straight off.
True.
And he's like, you've healed yourself. You're done. Like the medication is going to do nothing but make you sick now. And I was just like, and I just fucking cried because I was like, wait, hold on. Am I like dreaming? Like, I don't understand what's happening. And then he himself had told me like, it's a trauma-related disease. And I was like, yeah, I know. And then he's like, I think because I ended up on workers' comp with my spine and I've got fertility issues. And then my darling got cancer 6 years ago. Like we've been through a lot of shit. And he was like, he's like, it pretty much just kept it going. And then my inability to want to heal and want to feel, because I was that kind of person who didn't get angry. I didn't cry. Like my dad died. I didn't get upset. My darling had cancer. I didn't cry. Like I've always just been that happy person, fake it till you make it kind of thing. And he looked at me in the eyes and was like, you've done the work. Like you have healed your trauma. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? And it's
pretty trippy for a doctor to say, right? Like
big time.
It's like usually not the go. Like a
no at all.
Yeah.
And I was like, even then going into it, I was like, they're supposed to try and keep you on it. But he
of course.
the beautiful thing about him was I was still scared. So I was going in there not even to ask to get off it because I was too scared to. And he didn't even allow me that space to sit in fear. He made that decision for me. He didn't even put it back on my hands and be like, well, what do you want to do? How do you feel? He just said, you don't need it. But the beautiful thing is I have 5 years in remission. So if it comes back, I just give him a call and I go straight back in. But he looked at me and he's like, I really believe you will not be back in here. And I was just like, what is happening?
Fuck, I hope so too, sis. I hope you just soldier on and
I feel it within me. Like, I just know I'm not going to be back there. Like, especially when he pinpointed the trauma and stuff. I've done a lot of work since September. Like, I went deep and I went dark. And
like
I pulled
how take us how you went deep. What did
so
you do?
like I held on to my dad the entire time. I didn't have a photo in my house. Like every birthday, everything that he was around, I just couldn't. I just fucking couldn't, and I refused to. And so I used to numb. Like I was like a mean party girl. I could bend her for 3 days. I used to smoke weed like full time. Like I would completely numb out my emotions. I didn't cry. Like it's like I had a switch, and I just completely disconnected from it all. And I'd actually joined the affiliative marketing business, and that is the start. That was the start of my healing. Like I went into that because I seen heaps of people, like everyday people making thousands of dollars a day. And I was like, I just want that. I just want to be a baller. I want to be rich. And I want to let go of my 9 to 5. As soon as I step through the door.
Don't want to phlebotomy anymore.
Wow, that's the long-term goal. When I crack it and I can leave my 9 to 5, I want to do that as community service.
Ooh,
I don't want to
let's go. Okay.
But the reality is I get paid $26 an hour to do what I do. I've been hit, I've been spat. I was like,
fuck that, yeah.
Oh, it's all crazy. It's
but
all
you love it, eh?
I love it. I really, really love it. But it just can't.
In this slide dongs. No. I will say that for after, yeah. No.
Hey, there's plenty of people doing that. I'm the 1% that don't.
Okay, no. You lost it. No. Oh no, good on you, sis. Far out. That's crazy, man. Crazy that you expressed that. So speak about that too as well. We can touch on that. What's this whole affiliate marketing? Teach me.
Yeah, so it's like the online business, and it's pretty much trying to change the way that we think. So, we think like we got to work a 9 to 5 to make this, or we've got to be like a certain way to be a millionaire. But you just see people sharing their authentic selves. And the thing is, it's paired with a Japanese company that's been running for 50 years already, and it's got a 500-year plan, and it's selling water products. And the reason other than the money, my mom actually got sick here from the water, like really, really sick. And that was just the shower water. And then when I seen this business that had water, like a water filter that got rid of like all the chlorine and the chemicals, and it produced hydrogen water, and then all the health benefits, I was just really passionate, because I was like, my mom got sick purely from like lack of awareness. Like we didn't know. And I was like, she's just showering in it, and she ended up in hospital and had like respiratory issues and had like a bacteria in her stomach and stuff. Like it was bad. And I was like, I didn't know. And then the water, because it reduces inflammation, that replaced my medication. So other than my healing, I had the water supporting my journey. So those two together has allowed me to get off the infusion. And since sharing my story, I've like so many people have reached out, and the water has healed them as well.
Yeah, fuck, it's in the water, eh? Holy water.
Holy water, yeah, by the heart.
Not the holy socks. No, just okay. No, I mean, just so what's this? What do people hit you up if they want to hit you up every day at Jessie Maguren if they want to get into this water thing?
Yeah. So pretty much it's so big now. You see everyone doing it. Like there's a lot of people that have seen the potential in it, and they it pays you abundantly. But what I found is it's not just the money. Like before, I could not share on social media. I was so stuck in like sharing one version of myself because I was such a people pleaser. Okay. And then through this journey, I've learned I found like the authentic version of me, and I've learned to embody it, and I've learned to share it. And I'm like, I went from just sharing piss stories all the time and like this party girl to be able to share like my meditation and my hiking and like the real core of me that I was always ashamed to share.
True. Yeah, the meditation. Oh, so but if someone's like, yeah, like, can you go deeper into that? Can we go deeper into that whole thing, that whole affiliate marketing side, or is there more that they have to reach out to you to learn more?
Yeah, so pretty much they can look like they can come to my page and have a look, like, because it's such a broad spectrum. But all I said is it's a way to break your 9 to 5 for you to be present with your children. Like a lot of mums, like I know personally a lady who was a 6-figure lawyer here in Perth. She's left that. And
but
she
that's
now
a 6-figure lawyer. You have to be at work being a lawyer instead of like, yeah, so I get it.
And now she's made 6 figures and she's a present mum, stay-at-home mum, and she's making the same amount of money without the stress, without the toxicity. Like,
but this is breaking the system. I'm all
That's
about
it.
that. I'm all about that.
that's it.
Because the whole education system is, think about schools, it was just set up by the Rockefellers to make robots to work in factories. You know what I mean? Like to create a nation of workers or nations, because they adopted it throughout the Western world, a nation of workers to work for the free thinkers, to make shit for the free thinkers. That's why you're taught to sit down, shut up. You know what I mean? Line up, put your hand up if you want to speak. If you figure out a problem and it's not the way the teacher fucking said, it's the wrong way. Because it's systematic. So yeah, if you got something to break the system, there you go. There's something to break the system there with the system. There's one thing there. Give it a crack if you want. Yeah. Oh, you there, sis?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. No, I think it's cool. Yeah, I think it's cool. I like people that are giving it a crack, doing something that's different. Even this thing, like, you know, just something different, you know, trying to share, you know, touch on people's stories and journeys like yourself and many others that have done interesting things or have an interesting experience. And yeah, so what you're saying before is that it's pulled you out of just talking about, like you said, superficial stuff and more about you as a person and the deeper you, huh? And
That's
like
so
actually peeling back the layers in it. Yeah, that's pretty cool too. I think
When
the more you do it too, sis, the more you do things, right? The more it's like repetition, right? Like if you want to be an All Black, you gotta, like, you know, you don't just pick up a rugby ball and become All Black. You know, it takes time. You journey through, you know, through multiple trainings, you know, through years and years of repetition before you become that, you know, All Black or gold medalist, for example. Like, you know what I mean? If you want to, before you get to that gold medal, you don't become Usain Bolt just running once. You know what I mean? So I think, like anything, I think what it teaches is repetition. The more you record, right, the more comfortable you become in that space and recording, and the more you can start to expand on yourself. But you know, this has obviously helped you, and you swear by it. So good on you, sis. You know what I mean? And anybody that gets that gets either the same results or, you know, for themselves and whatever that looks for them, fucking me.
It blew my mind because I literally went in with like the money mindset, like I just wanted money, you know, and then through
drivers, we all have our own drivers. Listen, nothing wrong with if that's what drives you. You know what I mean? If that's what drives you initially, that's okay. But yeah, carry on.
Yeah, I went in and I was like, it's funny because I went in not even realizing that I wasn't even my true authentic self. Like I didn't even realize I had a facade, you know, and I went in and I was just like, I just want this money. And then they asked a question and they were like, you know, how much do you think you're worth a week? I was like, I'll be happy with $600 or $1,000 a week. And that's as far as I could see, you know, like my dad was making $1,000 a week and we were okay. Like I couldn't even think that I was worth more than $1,000 a week. I just wanted to be comfortable. And then I was like, and then they asked me to think about like, what would your dream life look like? And I started writing it down and I was just like, I can't remember the last time I dreamed. And then that's when I started to envision like my life outside of what I currently have. And I remember that night because me and my darling did it together and we just stood in the lounge. And at that time we were in a house we were paying $500 for a week for. Like there was a room that we couldn't use. It was moldy. Like the real estate wasn't fixing the shit. They were just raising the rent. Our tap was leaking. And I just looked around and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, is this what I feel like I've been worth for like the last 10 years? And like that shift, I was like, I am worth so much fucking more than this. And I realized that my fear was the reason I didn't want to move. Like I was like, oh, the housing's too scary. And I just stayed in this house that was making us fucking sick because I was scared. And that question, those two questions is what was the very first thing that just made me realize that my perspective was so narrow and so like, it was hurting me. And I was like, all because I was too scared to start moving. And then after that, that's when I realized, like when they said, oh, you got to share on social media, I was like, I can't. Like the first time I had to share, I couldn't sleep. I stayed up all night. I was extremely nervous. And that's when I realized like I cared way too much what other people thought, that I couldn't even speak. I'd never spoken like on my socials or anything like that. And then through that is where I started like peeling back the layers. And I was just like, holy shit, I don't even know who I am. I don't even have hobbies. My hobbies is drinking. My hobbies is having a bong. Like I just
got the bong.
And then, through there, I ended up connecting with a coach, like an intuitive coach who I work one-on-one with, who's helped me with all my healing. And then I've like just all the connections that were in that space. Instead of me healing on my own, I was like, there are so many people on the same journey as me. And then I was able to set, like, I didn't even know that programs like coaching, intuitive coaching, all that kind of stuff existed. And I walked into the space and I was like, holy shit, my first one-on-one call, my first group call with this coach, I'd never cried, right? Like I didn't know what crying was. I wasn't connected with it. An hour in, I was crying in front of a bunch of fucking strangers in the most beautiful way. I was being witnessed and seen, and I felt so safe for the first time. And that's because I didn't even know like what an ego was. I didn't know there was such a thing as an ego. Like I was so closed eyes. Like I tell everyone, it's like, you know, people are asleep. It's like my eyes were so shut. They weren't just asleep. I was like, I didn't want to see outside of my perspective. Like I only had one perspective. And then if it wasn't for the space, I wouldn't have like been able to connect with all these people and then start to dive in. And I guess that's why I woke up September last year. I just woke up one day. I had a panic attack and I was like, I could just see everything for what it was. I had the answers to all my questions. And that was September last year. It's May now and I've healed my bone disease.
Fuck yeah. Imagine in a year's time, sis.
I know.
You might be just doing fucking hit spins. Yeah.
Well, I was like, I have fertility issues. And I like not long ago,
on ways, baby.
No,
on ways.
I'm coming for my baby. I'm fucking getting it.
Let's go, Brother Chris. Yeah, let's go. This is Sparta. Yeah, let's go. 100. Fuck that move. Yeah, hard coming for a horses. I like this. Empowered.
Yeah, that's it. And it was like, it's crazy because anyone who knows me, when I started changing, they were shocked because they like, I was so good at what I did, like at pretending, because I believed it myself, that I made everybody else believe it. And then when I shifted, people didn't know how to deal with it. They're like, what is happening to her? And I used to get it all the time. Like, you've changed. And I'm like, no, I'm finding me. Like,
oh, was it your change? But like the like, oh, you've changed. Was it those ones? Did you get some? Yeah, but you know, it's just, that's their own insecurities reflecting, because that's what happens. And also, like, even the ones you grow up around, if they're like, oh, you change, like, morally, I'll probably always be the same. But like, I hope if I can change, because it means I've grown. I don't want to be fucking 14 anymore, cuz. I don't even want to be, like, I'm 32. I don't even want to be 31 anymore. You know what I mean? Next year, I don't want to be 32.
Yeah, I want to change every day. Yep.
Yeah, growth.
And that's when I realized that all I was doing was holding a mirror up. And because people believed that I was going to be the exact same forever, I became the permission slip. So it's like, if Jessie can change, then fuck, I can change.
Well, you can't be what you can't see, Jesus. So yeah, that's
exactly it. And like, I'm lucky because I haven't lost anyone in the journey. I hear so many people who have ended up so alone, and they've lost so many people due to their change. I've been extremely lucky. Everyone has had to grieve me on their own, like it had come into different parts, but I have not lost a person. And the thing is, they still miss that version of me, right? Because I was a people pleaser. So I used to show up for them. I didn't even care about me. Like,
oh, this is good. This is good. I like this people pleaser thing. Let's stay on that. I like this because this has been a big journey for myself and a lot of people that I've spoken on, because I've done a lot, same like you, done a lot for other people. And you know, not a bad thing. Like, you never do anything for other people to rub it in their face either. But when you decide, like, oh, I'm just focusing on my journey now at the moment anyway. But then, like, people be haters, people like, fuck, you don't answer my calls anymore. And some of them he's saying then, like, bro, you didn't answer mine before. You know what I mean? Like, you know, or you know what I mean when you wanted something.
That's exactly it. Yeah, people, because I realized that my whole, like, the version that I was based on people pleasing, to a point where, like, I have bone disease, right? Some days I couldn't walk, but if one of my bros needed me to go out or needed me to be there, I would be there. And like an hour before, I can't even walk. But yet somewhere I would shift it and I'd be acting like I wasn't in pain. And I was like, like how much I would neglect myself for everybody else was crazy. And then I started realizing, like, the things that I did like, I had created this whole version of myself based on what I thought other people would like, or so that I wouldn't be alone, so that people would like me all the fucking time. And then when I came into this journey, I got hit with the whole, like, oh my God, what if they don't like me? Because when I was a people pleaser, all I had to do was tweak little things and they'd like me again. But I was like, if you don't like me now, that means you don't like me. And I can't tweak that.
It is what it is, baby. Yeah. Kakite. See you later. Yeah, No, but you know what? And I heard you say, like, you haven't lost anyone and you're grateful. It's just, there's only, even if this is now, it's been September, it hasn't even been a year yet. If you lose people as this journey continues, that's okay too. It's just like, it's part of the journey, because like you said, if they don't like you, then like the real ones will still be there. You know what I mean? Like, and through it all. And if they ain't, then they probably weren't fucking real anyway. You know what I mean?
And that was a process as well. I remember that. Like, I think that was probably the hardest part for me to let go, was that, like, there are going to be people that aren't going to like the real version of me. And I remember there were days where I was like in tears and stuff, because I was really fucking scared of being alone. But I also knew that there was mama that needed to be healed, because I couldn't step through it and I didn't know why. And then that's when I came to the realization, like, I people pleased because I was so terrified of being alone.
Yeah. Get it, sis. Well, fucking even though we just connected on the socials, I'm proud of your sister. Fucking
Thank you,
too much. And I'm a big believer in people, if they could be a part of your journey. You know what I mean? You might have been homies in the past lives and stuff like that. When you connect with people easy, and what I noticed too, the more you push towards doing a bit of you, because mine's sort of been the same. Oh yeah, actually, I'm not here to share my story. Never mind. I won't go into that.
Yes.
But, oh, you want to hear it? No. Yeah. Someone, one of the bros asked me the other week. One of my brothers, he was like, "When was the?" Because he's seen how hard I'm going on this podcast thing, and this would be like maybe the 170th episode by the time it comes out in like 4 months. You know what I mean? Not even, and that's edited, clipped, everything, and I'm not the fucking flashes or anything like that, but just every day, daily deposits. It was probably like a year ago. So January, it started 4 months ago. The first episode dropped, but it was May. I think it was May, nearly either May or either like the last couple of weeks of May. I think it was, or around May, June last year. I'm pretty sure it was the last week of May. But I was going to kill myself. I was going to hang myself. I was fucked up. Just a lot of shit that I dealt with. I got number one on the TikTok rankings, and because I was pushing just to get there, and I finally got it after heaps of attempts and things happened. But it wasn't anything to do with that. Just my own taki, you know what I mean, that I had pushed to the side. And then my son woke up. It's actually his birthday today. Shout out to my Zai boy. But he woke up teething. Yeah. He woke up teething, crying, and when I was just about to do it, I was about to fucking rip it up, and then I fucking walked inside and grabbed him, I was like, oh, I better go sort him out, and then sort him out, and then grabbed him, and I just started fucking crying, like crazy, and then so it's like that point, I just like let a lot of stuff out, and I said to myself, like, all right, I'm not where I want to be, like in here right now. Everything, like I've done a lot of things that are like I can't take back, and that's not like fucking. I'm not talking about like domestic violence or any stuff like that, but I wasn't the best person. You know what I mean? And how do I change this? And also, how do I be, like you're saying, living my authentic self? And then I said, I want to do this podcast thing for a long time. I need to just start doing it, but I'm not ready to like push record yet, but I want to learn the game, and I want to have a plan and attack it, full. I want to build the biggest podcast in the world. I said to myself, how do I do it? So I said, from now till the end of the year, I'm going to daily deposit something to do with learning the game, whether it's just, whether it's branding, whether it's, how to edit, how to whatever it is, something to do with what I'm doing right now. I'm going to learn something about it every day till the end of the year. And then I did, and when I launched in the first week of January, which I did, and so it's been nearly a year now since then. And I'm still a baby in the podcast game, but like, I know it's a long way to go. But same sort of buzz, just having that, mine was a bit but ugly, but it's all different, but all relative to each person. But from then on, that's been me. So I just plan on smashing out as many as I can and talking to as many cool people from around the world, from whether they have a platform or or they're just everyday people, but they have cool stories. That's why when I seen you, like, I don't give a damn that you don't have fucking 40,000 followers or more. Like, you know what I mean? I think it's just cool. Like, you got a cool story. When I seen that, I was like, hey, let me see if she wants to come on and have a yarn. And here we are. So thank you for being part of my journey too, sis.
Oh, I appreciate you, brother. When you reached out, that's why I was like, I'm right in the middle of feel the fear and do it anyway. And like, I didn't even know what fear was, anxiety, all that kind of stuff. I just categorized it. And now I'm like, fear to me is like, if I'm scared, that's exactly where I need to go. That's the portal to
on the other side, eh?
Yeah, that's my expansion portal. And the more I hold myself back from that, the more I stay stagnant and stuck. So when you came, that's why I replied, and I'm like, brother, like, let's just go. Like, let's just do it this week.
Yeah, let's do it this week.
My mind gets into it.
Yeah, and start thinking about like, oh fuck, That's it. Nah, I like that. That fella Teddy, and he's like, this is blah 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 blah, and you can't change my mind. Yeah, well, the bro was on the other day, and he said, and that's what he sort of pushed, was like that, on the other side of fear is like where the blessing is, and trying to live that and trying to be that every day, and that's what I talk when I talk about daily deposits. Like, I cleaned out a lot of stuff, like a lot of ways of my own silly ways that I had like last year, and I'm still unlearning, as we are, that I had for years. I'm getting rid of those kinds of ways. Even with a lot of like some of the people that I was putting energy into no longer anymore. You know what I mean? Or like you said, if they want to coordinate to me, then they have to contact me. Otherwise, like, but I'm not going out of my way to just, hey, Upsy, how are you? Like, because I used to check up on everybody and this and that, but don't do that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, and just every day trying to grind. Even what I follow, even down to the things that I like. I don't really scroll anyway. Since I never really scrolled anyway, but like last year I made a conscious decision to only follow things that fill my cup. So like things that tell you every day, day one instead of one day, fucking all these kinds of things, if you want to be it, brick by brick, all those kinds of quote things. Those are the only things I really follow outside of people that I think are like funny or whatever, because I don't want it to come into my sphere, and also I don't really see anything because it's only when I open the phone, if it's there, then I might see it. Otherwise, that's the only things I see. So like cleaning all of that, there's so much things that we let in to our sphere and that influence us in multiple different ways, that when you make those decisions that I need to change, you got to flip everything. You know what I mean? Everything over, eh? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that was it. Like, I thought by putting me first, it was selfish. Like, that was a really hard one for me to get over, because I was like, I was so used to putting everybody else first that I was like, I could never put my needs before everybody else. So when I started doing it, I was like, my ego's telling me like, you're selfish, you're selfish, you're selfish. But what happened was, the more I ignored my ego and the more that I just kept like putting me first, the more I started realizing that I was able to give more value to the people that I loved the most.
Yeah, like exactly right. Yes. The more you grow, the more you grow, and the more you sharpen your tools, the better it will be for the tribe, for the iwi. I think that's an innate thing in being Polynesian now, in being Maori, being Polynesian. Like, we all talk whanaungatanga afi, you know what I mean? Always, but like, which is a beautiful thing. Like, don't get me wrong, because I go to some of my Pākehā friends' houses and I'm like, oh, it's a bit different around here. You know what I mean? It's a bit different around here. But
they bring their own meat to the barbecue.
Yeah, or they bring their own McDonald's and eat it in front of you. You know what I mean? And it's fucking, you know what I mean? With all the kids and they're running around like fucking, for us that's weird. But like, I think inside of that whanaungatanga and that afi, also we can get like that, like an imposter syndrome, like, oh, I should be always looking after everyone else instead of myself. But like you said, you fix yourself first. I'm just learning that too, to be honest. You know what I mean? Yeah. Fucking oath. I love this shit. This is mean yarns. Keep going.
That's how I felt. Like, I used to prioritize everyone, like say 100 people, right? And then I started realizing that the ones that mattered the most, the ones that actually gave a fuck about me, I was giving my energy to people who didn't care, which meant the ones that were actually cared about me, they were missing out the whole fucking time. So now that I've started to like be me, and I've started to see, like, it was quite funny because when I started sharing, I could really clearly see who was there for me, who was happy for me. Because the moment I would start to
you carry on.
the moment I would mock myself, the other people would come in. Like, they would not engage on when I'm like showing myself.
Yeah, Is it weird though? Because you see them. Do you see them watch it though? You see them watch it though. The other ones, and they don't like none of it or comment on any of it. Then there's like one thing.
And then I take the piss out of myself because I did it out on purpose. I'd gone and got my eyebrows tatted, right, and I looked like a fucking angry bird. So I did it on my story, and I was like,
red.
Fuck, they all came in like, haha, fuck, you're funny. And I was like, oh my God, you're laughing at me, laughing at my fucking self. But you didn't post the post, like, you didn't like the post when I was like sharing my truth and like my humility. You had nothing to do with it. You're just watching. But the moment I want to take the piss out of myself, you right in there. And I was just like, fucking hell.
Yeah, but there's people, man. That's a beautiful thing you said there too, because I noticed that as well. Like, and you know, it's funny. It's the ones that I thought would like, you know, support. But then also I think about it, and I seen someone. I think it was bro Charisma. He said, he's like, bro, like, people worrying about their friends not liking shit. He's like, if you're gonna be great, you're gonna be great. And then I seen another thing, like, fuck them anyway. You know what I mean? And I seen another one. You know, $1 million worth of game. There's a podcast, or like Wallow and Gilly. You know those fellas? Yeah. And Wallow's like, why are you not chasing your dreams just because like your friend fucking didn't support you? Like, who gives a fuck? You know, there's 7 billion people out there. You're gonna let your fucking 10 friends stop you from fucking connecting with 7 billion? Come on now.
It's you so strong. Like, it's when you come into this perspective and this paradigm, like, I'm like, fuck yeah. But not long ago, I was that person that was like, I don't want to share. Like, I don't want to be great. And it was almost like I had to be where I was. Like, you can't be better than anybody else, especially if they're not supporting you. And I was just like, you're right. There's 7 billion people. Why the fuck am I focused on like the minority?
Oi, straight up. And speaking on that Teddy fellow, he talked about it. He did a whole nationwide tour. He's got millions of followers. He did a nationwide tour, comedy show. You know, sold out in Perth. So you know, sold out a lot of places. I don't know if he sold out the whole tour, but let's say sold out anyway. Did well. You know, stand up comedy. He goes and does the same joke at a little spot with like 300 people, and only 5 people laughed. And he said like he felt like his whole fucking his ass fell out, and he just wanted to like quit then. But like, he just finished a nationwide tour when they laughed, everyone. So like, who gives a fuck? Yeah, like, literally, like, who gives a fuck? Like, I don't, like, for me, I'd never have to really change that psychology, because to be honest, I've always like not given a fuck what people think. But for me, never, like, I fucking never. But like, and sometimes it's, you know, probably been to my detriment. But also, for me, it's just seeing like it's the realizing who they are, you know, and which ones will actually like gonna support you. But they're right, like, if we're gonna be great, it's gotta be way bigger than the ones we know anyway. So we gotta go beyond them. And the funny thing is, and like many people I'd speak to along their journeys, like when they start cracking it, the ones that be like, oh fuck yeah, I love your shit. You're like, bro, you didn't even like any of it, but I see you watch it all. Like, you don't support me, cuz you just like, it's funny, it's funny that, but it's cool. You know what I mean? It's cool. Because shout out to the 7 billion. Let's go get some of those brothers and sisters out there.
Hard.
Let's go and you know what I think too, sisters, that there's a huge that whole poppy syndrome, especially in our communities and at home and stuff. And it's like, you know, you can't. Israel Adesanya had a big thing about it. Like, if you see when he got his Halberg Award a few years back, and then he said, like, if you see the Black Caps winning, pump them up. Like, they're winning for us. If you see the Silver Ferns winning, pump them up. Like, fucking, you know, someone else's shine doesn't have to block yours, because there's plenty more sun out there. Because you know what I mean? There's plenty more kai out there for us all to eat, and plenty more air for us to breathe. Even my statement right on like that, and I say it all the time. And then like, that I want to build the biggest podcast in the world. That's for me. That ain't for nobody else. That's for me and whoever wants to roll with me. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't matter. Will I achieve it? Fuck, and I'll get closer than anybody that's just there criticizing me and not doing anything. That's for sure. You know what I mean? But yeah. But like, also, you gotta, before you anything, like right, Michael Jordan becoming a champion with the Chicago Bulls. He envisioned that before he ever got there. You know what I mean? Like, and spoke it into existence and done the mahi, you know. But I could talk about it all at once. Like the bro Teddy did us a little Mind on My podcast will be the biggest podcast in the world, and you can't change my mind. He did that the other day, right?
I saw that, yep.
And then I said, but he's like, I'm gonna speak it into existence. But he can say whatever. It's up to me to fucking make it happen. And anybody that rolls with you know with our whānau, that's a part of, you know, the foundation and a part of building this thing. So yeah.
And that's the tall poppy syndrome. We can't see how, like, we can't visualize being better. So we just stay stuck. It's like, but the moment you can start to see exactly where you're heading and you can start to fucking aim for the stars, that's when you start doing the shit to get it. But I remember, I couldn't even imagine making anything more than $1,000 a week. And that's when I knew, like, well, then how are you supposed to be better if you don't even think you're fucking worth anything more than $1,000? Like, there's a stagnant there.
Yeah, that's it. Huh? Come on, we gotta get that tomboy girl out of that mindset here. Let's fucking move it on to the next. Nah, that's it for sure. And
even the tomboy, I've come into it, and because we used to joke, because like my darling and all the boys, I was the only girlfriend that used to go to the game with them. Like they'd go, is the sis coming? And my darling would be like, oh, is your missus coming? And like, nah. And he's like, oh, but I got to bring mine. So I can't just have a boys' night. Like, I was one of the boys. And we used to joke about me having a spiritual dick and all this shit. And then I started, like, coming into the healing. And I'm like, I'm actually really not as tomboy as I used to, like.
Yeah, as I was. Yeah.
Like, now the boys come over and I'm not
from. Like,
so it was two things. So, like, I'm 33, nearly 34. So back when I've always been a big girl. Like, I think I was 50 kilos at like fucking 5 years old. Like, I've always been solid, right? Back then, like all the shops, like Glassons and stuff, I couldn't fit them. So I could fit things in a hoodie. And then, like, you know, my mum had her own trauma around like her weight and stuff. So she, like, without realizing, out of love, she projected it onto me because she didn't want me to feel how she felt. So, you know, my parents were dieting me at like fucking 8 years old and had passed comments, and like mum wouldn't let me wear clothes that made me look bigger than what I was. And like, so I went, fuck all this. I can fit dickies, I can fit hoodies, I don't have to try them on. So that's where it came from. And then since my healing journey, I also didn't want to be sexualized by men. So I felt like if I would look like a boy, then I wouldn't be sexualized. And through my healing journey, that's what I've realized. Like, I had an encounter when I was 20 with I used to work at Bunnings, and there was an older man there. He was about 65. And I used to see him as like a father figure. We went out one day and he made a move, and I just completely freaked the fuck out. Like, I was just like, I'm 21. And it was like this, and he was also highly respected in the
dirty cunt.
And I couldn't tell anyone. Like, it was my word against his, you know. And I practiced because I told one lady that I trusted, and she said, I believe you because you don't tell lies, but I still can't believe it. So
wow.
And then 10 years later, she rings me. And she apologizes, and she says, I'm so sorry I didn't believe you. But it happened to 2 more young Maori girls around the same age as you after you left.
True. What? So did things actually happen, or he just made a move?
Yeah, so he made a move. So we were doing a stock take, and he said to me, oh, do you want to go get a pizza? Like, because that's, you know, that's what you do. And I said, yeah, all good. We have pizza in our break. And then we went to the beach, and then he starts pulling the jacket out of the car. And so, like, my brain's already like, this is a bit weird. This feels like a date. But then I'm like, oh, but it's, you know, like it's who he is. So, like, no, there's nothing wrong.
Uffy.
Yeah. And then when he dropped me off, he grabbed me and kissed me, and I just froze. And I was just like, what the fuck has happened? Like, and then throughout my life, I've had quite a lot of encounters with like older males doing stuff like that. And then my ex-partner had actually told me it was my fault, that I was the person that attracted that. Like, I was too friendly. So pretty much that made me want to stay a tomboy, because I was like, if I'm getting hit on like this through my energy and my personality, can you imagine if I dressed like a girl? So even when I could dress into a girl, I still couldn't completely disconnect until this healing journey. And I went deep and I pulled it all the fuck up, like everything. I pulled it all up.
Is that when you started getting like Sailor Moon everywhere? Or?
Yeah, now my darling, you're like the spiritual, like hippie, like I'm
No, I just see the
completely
moon in the back over there. Got a bit of a moon
my
over
moon here, got a moon
there.
tattooed on my chest.
Oh, yeah, the moons. Say a lot moon.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna get it tattooed as well. So
Oh, true. Let's go. Yeah.
it's
Were you
just
getting the
crazy
tattoo?
how much like oppression and trauma and stuff shapes you into an adult. And if you, like you said, if you don't know, you don't know. And what you can't see, you can't see. And so I literally was stuck in this whole world of like, this is who I am, and I'm authentic and I'm embodied. And then I went into this new space and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even know who I am. And like the first time I saw that, I was shocked. Like I was completely shocked that I didn't know who I was.
Far out. It's cool. Well, and now look at your sister. You're on the ways. You smacked over. I reckon even that whole tomboy thing, like being told you know this, you're that, whatever, and all of that kind of stuff, like all of that probably is part of your trauma that you had to release too, you know, like obviously your father, but all of that stuff adds up too. So it's on top of you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like a whole
There's
life
so
of that.
much. Yeah,
Yeah.
my brother and his addiction with drugs and stuff. Like I just kept it all. Like I did not
Ooh.
express anything. And I think a big one was like, yeah, my darling got stage 3 borderline stage 4 cancer, and we're like having treatment. Like he was in 5 days of treatment in a row, pumping him with drugs.
He smacked it.
Oh yeah, fucking tin ass. He's in the clear, like everything.
Yeah, gone now. You past remission now,
Completely gone. Yeah, completely gone.
Fuck, what a weapon.
But I couldn't feel it, like, you know, and that's when I was in here, like in this paradigm, I looked back and I was like, even the, like when the love of my life was going through something I couldn't feel, like I was just trying to make everything okay and make sure everything was happy. And I was like, but not once did I sit down and did I cry about what we were going through, or did I release anything? And then I started realizing that I held on to all my trauma. I'm 34 years old. I've never expressed any of my trauma. And that's, your trauma is actually sits around the solar plexus. And that is where all my diseases are, my dis-ease. So my bone disease, my fertility stones, my endometriosis, it is all around the area where we store traumatic energy.
Hold up, you got those too. Holy Ricka.
Yeah. And I the other thing is I nearly died over Christmas. So that was another big shift for me. So I've been having kidney stones every year for the last 10 years. And the doctors would just give me medication and I'd just do what I had to do. I went to, like, my stepdaughter came for Christmas. We'd planned this big Christmas. We went to Bali with our mums. Second day in, I got sick and I thought it was Bali belly. I was vomiting, nausea, like had the sweats and stuff. I was there for a whole week and I just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then when I came back, the only reason I went to the hospital was because it was Christmas Eve and my baby was here. And I was like, I don't want to spend Christmas in the hospital. And I still believed it was Bali belly. When I went in, no, my kidneys hadn't been working for 48 hours and I had a severe infection. Had I not gone in that day, I wouldn't have made it the next day. And that's just Christmas just gone.
All right.
And then I realized, now, baby? Yeah, and that's when I was like, all my health, I had a massive disconnect with my physical body. It was like I was living 2 different lives. So I didn't even know what was going on. But now it's like I'm fully aligned and I can feel and I can see. And I'm just like, that's where the power comes from, is because I'm not living outside of myself. I'm living within myself.
That's cool. Oh, fucking no. Shout out to you, sister. What's the plan? What's the plan for the rest of the year? What's the plan for, you know, you just continue the journey, continue the healing, continue the progression, keep that bone disease away, make a baby?
So keep going. I'm just doing what I'm doing because I'm like, like every time I'm going through that portal of fear and I'm willing to see the darkness and I'm willing to sit with it all, it's like what's happening to me. For example, you reaching out, I could never have imagined that someone would ask me to be on a podcast, you know. So I'm at a point now where I'm like, I've stopped controlling and I just know the universe is going to give me what's for me, like what's supposed to be for my highest good will come as long as I'm doing the fucking work to get it.
Yeah, oi. That's it. Because you know what? That's what I love to hear that. Like whether you call it a universe, a God, whatever, I think that's the key, is that a lot of people say like the universe or the Lord or whoever will provide. But I think like they will if you go and get it. You know what I mean? Like if you go and do the mahi, you know what I mean? And that's it. Like we can't sit and wait and be stagnant. We gotta move
That's
forward.
it. We chuck our
into
orders
workout.
out and we're like, I want to be rich and I want to be healthy, but you're not fucking showing anything or anyone that you can actually have the capacity to hold that. Like there is no way 10 months ago I would have been able to sit here on a podcast with you because I'd have been drunk by that. I would have chosen the bottle over this. I wouldn't have felt like the value or anything. But it's like the more like, so what did my darling say yesterday? So he loves wrestling and
I'll say plenty of practice then for the fertility. Eh?
I'm the perfect pilot too, but
that's what I am. Fucking name. China. No.
But yeah, he had said to me, he'd come across a quote that Paul Heyman had said, and he said, every day is an audition for the next. And I was just like, fuck, that is me right now. I'm doing the mahi today to be able to be better tomorrow, to be able to receive. Like, you got to do the work to be able to get what you want. You can't just bark orders and chuck out your gift list. Like, you have to be, like, your energy has to match what you want.
Yeah, that's it. Brick by brick, like whatever it is, you know, that whole theory, you know what I mean? You know, just like I put out there I want to build the biggest podcast in the world, but daily I'm putting in mahi towards that, you know what I mean? Yep. Like I said, will I ever achieve that? Oh well, I fucking think I will. But you know, I guess time will tell. But you know, we'll get and like I said, there's no competition to nobody that has one. That's just my own shit that I just want to see if I can do it, baby. You know what I mean? And if you want to do it too, okay, you know, let's have a race. No.
If you weren't doing your daily deposits, right, and you became their best podcast in the world tomorrow, do you have the capacity to hold it though?
To maintain it? No, hell no.
No, you got to do the mahi to be able to hold like something that fucking big. And so I just want to honor you, brother, for doing the daily deposits because it's easy to want something, but it like do people actually show up and do the fucking work to get it? And here you are every single day, and it's inspiring.
Yeah, 100 and same to you, sister, in your journey, like, but that's right. Just like anything, like any, like we talk about, even the bigger, like one-hit wonders, right? Majority of one-hit wonders come out of nowhere, right? And then because they haven't, like, there's no sustained, whether they're songwriters or whatever. Obviously, there's industry things, like they get the money they never had before. Same as lotto winners, right? I don't know what the percentage is, but there's a high percent of huge lotto winners that are broke within 5 years. You know what I mean? There's a huge amount. It's probably changing. The stats might be starting to change now because they're doing a lot of education around, like, you know, money management. But a lot of athletes that are worth, like, I just know stats from like NBA, which is like they make millions of dollars, NFL, and a lot of those athletes, they end up with, you know, hundreds of millions or, you know, tens of millions of dollars, end up broke within 5 years of their career finishing. Because again, a lot of them come from the hood, and they don't know, they never fucking experience fucking money like that, and people didn't tell them how to look after it. You know, very
you get
minute,
it and you blow it.
And very minute the amount of people that, you know, are able to keep it. So yeah, no, exactly right. If the podcast thing happens tomorrow, I'm probably not ready for it yet. You know what I mean? But eventually, you know, in 5 years' time, 1 year's time, I don't know what the timeline is. Then, you know, we just like the time of death, we know neither the date nor the hour. You know, but we just. I see this one. Actually, I'm gonna play the quote for you. Can I play it for you?
Yeah, of course.
This one that I listen to every day, and I don't know. It really resonates with me. Let me just put the speaker on because it's just a simple one from a dude, but it really resonates with me because it's pretty much what we're doing. Like and whatever you can apply it to whatever you chase, whatever your dream is, whatever you're aiming for. Let's go here. Where is it? Over here. 2 seconds. Aroha, mate.
Okay, but that take a time. I just keep getting this thing over my head. More responsibility, more power.
That's it. Well, you fucking psychic too, ain't you? Too much. Where's the way? That's it. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, huh?
Your problem is that you keep rushing the process. You ain't trying to be patient.
I don't know if you can hear it. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Amadeus. Oh, yeah, wrong one. Oy.
The process, you ain't trying to. See, your problem is that you keep rushing the process. You ain't trying to be patient. Good things come to those who wait. This ain't a sprint. This is a marathon. The more you keep worrying about the future, the more you're going to get lost in the present. You got to get up and just put one foot in front of the other, but just have that blind faith. But what I will say is that we don't know when it's happening, but we know what's coming. We ain't putting this work in for no reason. So with that, I say keep grinding, and I believe in you.
But yeah, that's, I don't know. That's what I like listen to every day. Even go to the gym. Even so, when there's silence, too much silence, I just fucking.
Can you send me that
Just
quote,
put it on
please? Because that landed hard for me. Because it's like I'm on that journey, but it's nice to have that reminder. Because sometimes I do try and speed up the process. Because that's just what you
Oh,
do.
that's the thing too. Well, we are our own worst enemy, right? We, whether it's through fear of attacking something, or through paralyzing ourselves with our own actions. So, you know what I mean? I believe that for sure.
Yep.
Fuck yeah. I don't know. I just whenever the day gets like fucking, whenever it gets too quiet sometimes, or I start like, I don't know, maybe drifting off and thought like to places that I don't need to go, like not anything nefarious, just like shit starts to get to my attention that doesn't need to. Pull back and just listen to that. Or there's many quotes, but that's a big one that I fucking.
I like that one.
Simple. It's just from
stuck in your mind. It brings you back down into your heart, because that's exactly what it did for me. I was just like, oh my god, yes, thank you.
Oh, yeah, hard. Is there any like who's a mentor for you in your like, or someone that you look up to? I guess it's like the person that you work with, maybe, or
yeah. So I work with a few people. I work one-on-one with a coach. She's an intuitive coach. Her name's Beth, and as if like I call her Trigger Queen, because fuck, she takes me there, eh? Like
Trigger Queen.
Oh fuck, she will hold me accountable for my shit, and like she will show me the mirror of what I'm avoiding, what I don't want. Like for example, with all my health, she said to me, "You desire to be sick," and I was like, "Fuck off!" Like I was.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no, I don't.
And then she goes, but she holds so much love and so much space, So she's like, babe, in the subconscious mind, and not your conscious mind, your subconscious mind. That is where it comes from. And then when we started diving deep, what had happened was when I was younger, like I didn't have a really good connection with my mum. My mum was like really close with my brother. And it's something that I've always wanted. And when I was sick, my mum used to look after me, like 100%. And she said, something happened when you were 14 and when you were 6, something's with your mum. And I said, nah, nothing to do with my mum. My mum was perfect when I was sick. She was exactly what I wanted. She used to look after me. And then I just stopped. And I was like, oh my God, little Jessie thought that that's what love was. So when I got older, that's how it played out in my life. So, and because I'm so strong and I wasn't feeling and I couldn't let people know what was going on, when I was sick, I would drop my armor. And then, there was that subconscious part of me that wanted to be sick when I wanted to be loved, because that's what I thought love was. That was my belief. When she brought it into my awareness and I made that realization and it popped myself, that also has been a huge part of my journey, because when something happens, I can see it now. And I'm like, are you desiring to be sick so that you can be loved in this moment, or are you actually sick? So like she takes me places like there, and just even when she does and I don't want to see it, because there's so many times where I'm just like in denial because it's like some hard shit. But because of the space she holds me in, I'm just like, I can go there and I can project back onto her and I can be angry, because she's going to hold so much space and hold love that I'm going to be able to pop through it. And then I just break down and cry and I look at her and I'm like, I love you. And that was the breakthrough for me, is to be able to be truth in how I feel, whether it be angry, sad or whatever, knowing that someone's not going to judge me for it. And she takes me time and time again. And when I have a one-on-one with her every week, and some days I'm like, I just don't want to, I'm not ready for that. Nah, I don't want her to take me there. But those are the days I really need to be showing up on that call.
Beautiful.
Keep rushing the process. You ain't trying to be patient. Good things come to those who wait. This ain't a sprint. This is a marathon. And the more you keep worrying about the...
Sorry, sis, I was fucking around with it, and I tried to send it to you, and the next minute it's there.
I was back into the zone again. I was like,
oh yeah, I know. We'll carry it on then.
Yeah.
You got to get up and just put one foot in front of the other, bro, and just have that blind faith. But what I will say is that we don't know when it's happening, but we know what's coming. We ain't putting this work in for no reason. So with that, I say keep grinding, and I believe in you.
But yeah,
it just makes me want to move, eh? Like,
yeah, hard. And it's a simple, like, who's the bro? I don't even know who the bro is, but what he says is it resonates hard, and that's it. And it's that consistency, right? And we're learning every day. So I tell my kids, we're learning every day. But with, like you said, we can ask the universe to do certain things, God, whoever you believe in, whatever it is. But if we don't put the mahi in, it's just all it is kōrero, all it is talk. If we don't put the work in, all it is fucking, all it is a fucking dream. Because it's just here. You haven't put it out there, and the only way you put it out there is by the doing, right? And that's something, I've been procrastinating heaps of times too. Fuck, I know. You know what I mean? I should have done this fucking 5 years ago, man. You know what I mean? But anyway, I think about it too, and I'm like, would I be the person I am today if I did it 5 years ago? But I'm doing it now, and we're on the way. We're on the journey. Aira. Yeah, 100%. Sis. Hey, before we get out of here, I got a couple of questions for you, if that's okay. If you could eat one kai for the rest of your life, what would you eat? It has to be a meal that's a real meal, one food.
Like
it can't be like I'll have part of this meal, I have part of this, and put them together. Like, give me a real meal. Kina, that's it for the rest of your life. Kina every day.
Fuck yeah.
Can I get a woo woo? All right then. Can I just?
See, I started going, I have a rice with a chicken, but I'm like, if there was one thing, I'm like, I dance when I have a kino on toast. Man.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
And being over here too.
But you want it on toast?
Yeah.
Heaps of butter.
Hey, more butter than
Can I get a butter? No, I mean, what bread are you having it on?
Just a white toast, but a bakery one, from home where they get the square flat loaf.
Okay, I see. What butter?
Fucking New Zealand butter. Real
none
butter.
Of that margarine stuff.
Not the plastic. Not the plastic.
Not that Maori fucking big fucking tub.
With the sunflower on it.
Not the big tub.
The square one.
If you could have one superpower, which one would you choose and why? Or you could even make one up. Some of the fam that have come on here have made their own, created their own. Which one?
It's quite funny you asked me, because before this journey, I used to say my superpower was bendering.
Oh, true. Fuck, we would have been good mates then.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I mean, still good.
3 days, no sleep, no drugs, just drinking. That was my thing. And then now I haven't been drunk in over a year, and I don't even think I would bender. It's just not a part of who I am anymore. But my superpower would be if that everyone that I came into contact with, that I could transmute their pain into power, not by without them willing to do it, there are so many people that are just so stuck, and I just wish I could just fucking go and transmute that first initial bit of pain into power so that they could begin their journey. But then again, I'm so about everyone's journey is completely different, and it's theirs, and no journey is the same. So if I was to come in and do that, that takes away their fucking journey,
Yeah. Would they get to where they need to be?
But when I walk around and I see so many people that are just stuck, they want it. I just really want to be able to go in there and fucking just touch them, and then.
Yeah, there you go. I like it. Transmute there. No, that's beautiful.
Pain into power.
Pain into power. Well, you know what? That resonates with me too, because I used to bender so much, and then having tamariki, I didn't as much because, looking after them, you don't want to be smacked over, trying to look after them. And then also, I just think about it now, and one of the old tracks from the good old garage parties is "Wasted Days and Wasted." Bro, that song is so it literally, you're wasting days and wasting nights. Just you know what I mean?
3 days gone.
Fuck. But it used to be so fun. But I think to me now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And or just
I
staying
wasn't
up.
good at anything, so I was good at that. And then when people used to acknowledge that, and people used to love me as a party person, it kept me trapped, because I was like, I can be that person, and everyone wanted me around. And then the moment I wasn't that person anymore, people don't even know how to be in my company, because I'm not that version no more.
Hey, but hey, all good, sissy. We can still share a fucking water then. Well, since water.
I'll still have one, because I know my limits now.
Oh, you know your limits, eh?
I don't really get past 2 or 3. I'm like, it's quite crazy. Once I made the commitment, it's I'll get a headache. It's almost like I see it as my higher self knocking me on the head. If you have one more, this is where you start to like, I want more and I want to go to the bottle store. So it's like around the 3 mark, I'm happy. I can sit there and I can enjoy my drink. When I start going past that, that's where I started noticing, that's where I start to lose that self-control and I start falling into the whole like vibe of the drinking. And now I'm just really content in having like 3 or 4, because before I wanted to wipe it all together, but I was like, no, that's not what it should be about. I need to find self-control and I need to find balance. It's not about eliminating everything.
Beautiful. Do you have any advice out there for anybody that's maybe going through something similar to yours? I know that's a very rare, very minute part of the population that would endure what you've endured with the bone thing, but even something similar like that, maybe they've told you have to do it for the rest of your life, and you know you're a testament that can not be true. That you can conquer it yourself. Any advice for people out there?
Yet nothing is permanent and nothing is forever. And it is only that way when we convince ourselves that that's the way it is. Like I told myself that they told me that I'm going to be on this infusion forever. I told myself that as well. The moment I started shifting that mindset, it's not forever anymore. It's not fucking permanent. But the other thing as well, what's really important that I didn't do is collaborate, reach out, talk to people, be around people, because I was just stuck in my mind. There was no proof around me that I could get out of this other than people feeling sorry for me or being hopeful, until I stepped out and I started meeting people that had done things that they were told they never could do. And so the more it's like, surround yourself with who you want to be. Pretty much. Don't surround yourself with the people that are keeping you stuck, that don't want to, that aren't helping you move. Like you said, there's 7 billion people in the world, not just the 30 that you know.
Yeah, 100%. And
we live in a world where there's this online. We don't even need to have direct physical contact. Like the day and age we live in, we have so many tools, so many resources. So I highly recommend you just reach out, like honor yourself enough to start putting yourself out there to see and surround yourself with people who you want to be.
Yeah, hey, appreciate that, sis. Time's the most valuable commodity we have as human beings, sis. The one thing we can never get back. We can always get back money, we can always get back things, but time spent is time lost. So thank you for sharing over an hour of your time with myself, and time that you could have spent making fertility babies with the brother Chris. But yeah, grateful.
Hey, thank you for the opportunity, brother. No place I'd rather be.
Yeah, no, and I hope this won't be the last time. We live in the same city, so we'll connect. We're just down the road from each other. We'll figure it out, and be good to meet you and the brother as well in the physical. But yeah, big love to anybody that listens, and hopefully someone takes some value from it. Obviously you'll take a lot of value from the system, I'm sure, but even if you just took a bit of my stupid jokes for a laugh, that's good too. Much love to everybody. Mind the Mic podcast out. Thank you so much for watching this full episode of Mind the Mic. It takes a lot of time, energy, and effort to create these episodes, so to know that you've watched and listened to the entire thing means the world to myself and all our hosts. If you could, before you leave, please hit the subscribe button and share this episode out to as many people as possible. It would help us so much. Thank you again to everybody that's still here, still watching. Thank you for all your comments, all your shares, all the DMs. Appreciate you all. Make sure you follow us on every platform. Have an awesome morning, have an awesome night, depending on where you are in the world. Mind the Mic out.
Oi, have you hit the link in bio yet?
Watch full episodes on YouTube or listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all streaming platforms.